Right then folks, Jacob here. Today we're going to be doing another Trading 101, specifically on ArcCorp and its moons. So this video is going to be packed with information, so you better be taking notes because we're getting started right now. So what I'm going to show you here is a couple of different routes based around ArcCorp that you can use as a reliable trading. Some for those on a budget, some just for better profit in general. First of all, we want to head to Walla. You want to set your destination to the 056 mining outpost. Now, the really good thing about the ArcCorp moons is that there is minimal atmosphere, meaning you can accelerate virtually to maximum speed, and it's great. You quantum into the moon, you're 20 or so kilometers from the outpost, and you're at the outpost in like a minute. Obviously, just try not to go too fast because then you'll overshoot. It's very easy to overshoot. And honestly, this, in my opinion, is what keeps the ArcCorp routes like really good, in my opinion, amongst other reasons of which we'll get to. So of course you'll want to head out of the ship, head inside the outpost. Now there is quite commonly a bug where it only partially spawns the outpost, and it's getting more frequent recently in 310.2. But what you'll want to do is just wait, and eventually it'll correct itself. And sometimes, honestly, this bug hides entire buildings, so you'll want to be quite cautious as to where you park. I mean, obviously just park on the landing pad. However, if you do 30k, that means that your ship is going to be in the landing pad at your vehicle terminal. So, of course, claiming it is going to, of course, get your timer and such. And if you've bought your stuff, of course, that's where it's going to end up. Okay, so as per usual with trading, you'll want to always be careful of anyone else that's present, any other carracks or caterpillars that are parked. Now, you've got to be especially careful if you're a carrack owner, because you can't really control people going onto your ramp. I mean, you can quickly turn on and off the ramp, but people are still quite easily able to just get onto the ramp, and you can't do anything about it due to it being an armistice stone. Now, of course, that's going to change relatively soon, we hope, but we'll see how that goes. Onto the outpost. The best thing about this outpost is typically you can only buy 2 different items from an outpost. Typically one more expensive than the other, so your typical combination would be laranite and titanium, laranite and acetine. Here, however, it is laranite and acetine, and then diamond on the end of that. And now if you get lucky, you might be able to buy a decent chunk of maybe 200 SCU of laranite here, and that of course is going to make your profit explode at that point. Now, diamond is quite a good fallback, and what makes this particular route really quite good is you're going to always be able to fill up your inventory. That's going to be especially important when the C2 launches in December, if it does, because of course that has an extra 50 SCU on top of the caterpillar, or so we've been told, but we'll see if that actually happens. Now, on your way back, you'll want to head to the station above Area 18, Beijini Point, and request landing, but you don't want to land. And the reason for this is in the event of a 30k. Because if you do 30k and you have requested landing, but haven't landed, if you 30k, the ship will end up in that station. So essentially you're going to be saving your ship, but you're also going to be saving your cargo. Now, I'm not sure whether CIG intend on fixing this, but I do hope not, at least for the short term, but they'll probably end up fixing it in the PTU patches for 3.11, but we'll see. Of course, given that you've got permission to land, of course, head down to Area 18 and get yourself landed there. The moment you do land there, when you do 30k, of course, your cargo is still safe, and it was safe anyway. Of course, when you have landed, you'll want to commit suicide. And for those that don't know, you can do that by holding backspace. Of course, this will put you into your hab, and then at that point, it's quite a reasonable stroll to the trading outpost, to TDD as it's called. And of course, get to selling, and you're all good. The next place you'll want to head to is Walla again, and set destination this time, rather than to the 056 mining outpost, you want to go to the 048 mining outpost. Now, at this particular outpost, there's only a couple of things that you can buy here, one of which is diamond, the other one, I believe, if I recall, is tungsten. It probably isn't. Every time I've been here, it's always been 5.85 UEC and 7.35 UEC to buy and sell diamond at TDD. And honestly, this is a really decent profit of 1.5 UEC per unit. And this is only honestly marginally lower profit than the typical Laranite titanium runs from Ariel to Lawville. And that's only if the buy and sell prices are in your favour, because everyone does that route and the prices fluctuate so much. So sometimes your profit could be perhaps 95k, sometimes it can be 75k. It's pretty bad. Now the really good part with this diamond route is that your initial investment is 330,000 rather than your typical sort of 420,000 investment on your Laranite and titanium runs, with a caterpillar of course. And ultimately this is why this route gets a mention, because it seems like it's always going to be an 85,000 UEC profit per route, and that's pretty competitive with your titanium Laranite runs, which are, cost a little bit more to actually go through. And just to clarify some more on what makes these routes good, and not only the routes themselves, but the kind of features of these routes, such as the suiciding and getting pretty close to the cell console, the very minimal atmosphere of the moons. And what I will say is this route isn't ideal for a Carrack, and the main advantage of a Carrack is the suiciding to the med bay of the Carrack after you've sold your cargo. And now this is very much ideal for places such as Lawville and potentially New Babbage, as long as you park outside of the commons. And now the reason why it's not actually ideal for Area 18 is because the suicide spawning back to the med bay of the Carrack thing will only work if you're inside 8 kilometers of the Carrack. Now the trade console in Area 18 is actually 12 or 13 kilometers away. So if you suicide there in the hope of getting back to your med bay, you're actually going to go back to your hab instead. So that is definitely to take note of. Thank you ever so much for watching. Today's video sponsor is the like button for the glorious YouTube algorithm. That will of course allow this channel to grow with your support. Obviously don't forget to comment or subscribe. If you aren't already aware, I generally upload daily, so be sure to check back. My name is Jacob, thank you, and goodbye for now.